In 2004, Porsche took a race engine that was designed to compete at the highest level of Le Mans prototype racing, and built perhaps the most uncompromising road car in history. 603 horsepower, no traction control, no stability control, a carbon fiber monocoque, and a ceramic clutch that behaved like a light switch from hell. This is the story of the Carrera GT, the analog supercar that Porsche almost didn't build, and the V10 race program they murdered to make it happen. Let me paint you a picture. It's 1998. Porsche's engineering team is deep into developing the 9R3, a Le Mans prototype powered by a naturally aspirated 5.5-liter V10. Norbert Singer designing it. Pneumatic valve springs. Serious ambitions for Le Mans 2000. This was going to be epic. And then, plot twist, the board kills it. November 1998. Development delayed. May 1999. Program cancelled. The reason? Porsche needed every dollar and every engineer for a project that would save the company, the Cayenne SUV. Let that marinate. Porsche chose to build a luxury SUV instead of racing at Le Mans. Accountants, 1. Enthusiasts, 0. But here's where German engineering stubbornness gets interesting. That race engine, the 5.5-liter V10, didn't die. It went into storage, like a supervillain waiting for the sequel. And when Porsche unveiled the Carrera GT concept at the Paris Motor Show in 2000, that V10 was sitting right there in the engine bay, enlarged to 5.7 liters, detuned for road use, ready to make everyone question their life choices. The Carrera GT wasn't just another supercar, it was a statement. While Ferrari was building the Enzo with an F1-derived V12 and a paddle shift gearbox, Porsche took the opposite approach. A manual transmission, no electronic nannies, and a driving experience that demanded your complete attention. Or else. 612 PS. That's 603 horsepower at 8,000 RPM. 603. 435 pound-feet of torque at 5,750 RPM. A 5.7-liter naturally aspirated V10 that redlined at 8,400 RPM. These weren't just impressive numbers. They were a middle finger to the entire industry's march toward electronic assistance. Car and Driver tested it in June 2004. 0 to 60, 3.5 seconds. 3.5. Quarter mile, 11.2 seconds at 132 miles per hour. Top speed, 205 miles per hour. And here's the kicker. They achieved these numbers with a 6-speed manual transmission and 0 electronic aids beyond ABS. While your modern hypercar needs 17 computers to go straight, Motor Trend got similar results. 3.6 seconds to 60. 11.1 seconds through the quarter at 133.4 miles per hour. But they also noted something critical. The clutch action was tricky. That's journalist speak for utterly vicious. That ceramic clutch, the first ever fitted to a production car, was brutally unforgiving, on or off, like a light switch. No middle ground, no mercy, no apologies. Let's talk about that clutch. The Porsche Ceramic Composite Clutch, PCCC, 2 plates, 169 millimeters in diameter, derived from Porsche's ceramic brake technology. It was compact. It lowered the center of gravity. It extended service life. This was the first ceramic clutch fitted to a mass-production road car. And it was absolutely vicious to modulate in traffic. This wasn't a car for your morning commute. Unless your commute involves humiliating Ferraris on the Autobahn. This was a car that bit back if you weren't paying attention. Aggressively. The chassis? Full carbon fiber monocoque with a carbon fiber subframe. Not just carbon body panels, the entire structure. Porsche partnered with ATR, an aerospace-grade manufacturer, to build it. They even registered a patent for the construction principle. This was one of the first production road cars with a full carbon fiber monocoque and subframe. Ferrari's Enzo had a carbon tub. The Carrera GT went further, because German engineering doesn't do almost. And the brakes? Carbon ceramic composite discs, 15 inches. Standard equipment. Not an option. Not a premium package. Standard. These were developed from Porsche's PCCB technology first introduced on the 911 GT2 in 2001. Motor Trend recorded 100-0 braking in 277 feet. That's exceptional. That's physics bending. That's, oh God, we're going to hit the wall, and wait, no, we stopped territory. The suspension was pure racing technology. Pushrod actuated with horizontal dampers. Inboard mounted coil springs and shocks. The same configuration Porsche used in their race cars. This wasn't adaptation. This was direct translation from track to road. No compromise, no excuses, no passenger comfort, and it showed in every corner. Beautifully, brutally, unapologetically. But that racing suspension had a flaw. In April 2023, Porsche issued a global stop drive order for every Carrera GT. The suspension ball joints, those same racing-derived components, were prone to corrosion and cracking. Porsche spent over a year developing new titanium components to fix the issue. The repair bill? Over $109,000 per car. And Porsche covered it. Every single one. That's not a recall. That's German engineering taking responsibility for German engineering. The entire global fleet was grounded until the fix was complete, because Porsche doesn't do half measures, even when admitting mistakes. Walter Röhrl, yes, that Walter Röhrl, took it to the Nürburgring in 2004 for auto build. 7 minutes, 28 seconds. 7:28. In 2004, that was staggering. Faster than almost everything else with a license plate. A production car that could humiliate purpose-built track weapons. While the owner's manual was still in the trunk. But here's the twist. 20 years later, in 2024, Jörg Bergmeister took a Carrera GT back to the Nordschleife. Same car. Modern tires. Michelin Pilot Sport Cup, 2N spec developed specifically for the Carrera GT, using modern tires and modern data acquisition. The result? Bergmeister reported the car was dramatically faster and more predictable. Estimates suggest the new tires shave over 15 seconds off the original time, potentially putting it in the low 17s. The car wasn't the limitation in 2004. The tires were. Let that sink in. This thing was holding back for 2 decades, waiting for rubber technology to catch up. Production began in September 2003 at Porsche's facility in Saxony, Germany. They built approximately 2 cars per day. Slowly, carefully. Each one essentially hand-assembled, like assembling a fighter jet that you can drive to Whole Foods. The original target was 1,000 units. Strong demand pushed that to 1,500. But new NHTSA regulations requiring dual-stage airbags forced early termination. Final production, May 6, 2006. Total built, 1,270 units. Just 1,270. About 50% went to North America. In 2005 alone, 340 units were sold in the United States. Original MSRP, $448,400. That was serious money in 2004. But it bought you something genuinely special and genuinely terrifying. Now, we need to address something. November 30th, 2013. Paul Walker, the actor from the Fast and Furious franchise, killed in a Carrera GT crash in Valencia, California. He was a passenger. Roger Rodas was driving. Both died. The car split in half and caught fire. It was horrific. The official investigation by the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department and California Highway Patrol was thorough. Their conclusion? Unsafe speed for roadway conditions. The car was traveling between 80 and 94 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone. It lost control on a curve, hit a curb, struck a tree, then a lamppost, then another tree. The vehicle split apart. Fire followed. Physics doesn't negotiate. Here's what they didn't find. Mechanical malfunction. Pre-existing conditions, suspension failure, design defects. What they did find? 9-year-old tires, the original equipment from 2004, with degraded grip. Both seatbelts worn. Both airbags deployed as designed. The investigation concluded the accident resulted from excessive speed on aged tires. Simple, tragic, preventable. Lawsuits followed. Paul Walker's family sued Porsche. Roger Rodas's family sued Porsche. The claims? Design defects, lack of stability control, fuel system design, seatbelt placement. Porsche's defense was blunt. The risks were open and obvious, and the cause was unsafe driving. Both Walker family lawsuits settled out of court. The Rodas lawsuit? Dismissed via summary judgment. No competent evidence of Porsche liability. This is important context. The Carrera GT is an unforgiving car. It has no stability control, no traction control, just ABS. It demands respect. It demands skill. It demands attention. In the wrong hands, or at the wrong speed, it will bite. That's not a design flaw. That's the entire point. This was an analog supercar built without electronic safety nets. By design, on purpose, with German precision. Let's talk competitors. The Carrera GT launched into a very specific moment. The Ferrari Enzo, unveiled in 2002, was already on sale. F1 technology. 651 horsepower from a 6-liter V12. Paddle shift F1 gearbox. But it cost over $600,000. The Carrera GT undercut it by almost $200,000 and gave you a manual transmission that actually worked your left leg. The Ford GT arrived in 2004, 5.4-liter supercharged V8, 550 horsepower, 6-speed manual, original MSRP, $139,995, less than a third of the Carrera GT's price. But it was American muscle in an aluminum-intensive chassis with carbon elements. A different philosophy entirely. Heritage over cutting-edge engineering. Nostalgia over pneumatic valve springs. And then there was the Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren, unveiled in November 2003. 5.4-liter supercharged V8, 617 horsepower. But, and this is critical, a 5-speed automatic transmission. The SLR was fast, but it was a grand tourer. The Carrera GT was a scalpel. The SLR was a hammer. A very expensive, very luxurious hammer that your grandmother could drive. Here's where the Carrera GT carved its niche. The Enzo was more expensive and focused on F1 tech. The Ford GT was cheaper and focused on heritage. The SLR was softer and focused on luxury. The Carrera GT? It was the only one that said, "We're giving you a Le Mans engine, a manual transmission, and nothing to save you from yourself." It was terrifying. It was pure. It was Porsche being Porsche. The driving experience was legendary. Magazine testers struggled with the clutch. Owners complained about the on-off behavior. But those who mastered it, they discovered one of the greatest driver's cars ever built. The engine sang to 8,400 RPM. The steering was telepathic. The chassis communicated every detail of the road surface. This was old school, unapologetically, gloriously, dangerously old school. And then production ended. May 2006. No successor. No second generation. Just done. Porsche moved on to the 918 Spyder with hybrid technology. The era of the analog supercar was closing. The Carrera GT became a monument to a philosophy that was already dying. And nobody noticed until it was too late. Let's talk value. In 2004, it cost $448,400. In 2010 through 2012, you could buy one for AT or below original MSRP. Nobody wanted them. Too difficult. Too uncompromising. Too analog in a digital world. Too much car for the Instagram generation. And then something changed. By late 2015, prices climbed to $600,000 to $800,000. By 2021, they were over $1 million. Beginning of 2022, $1.8 million. March 2022, an all-time high of $2 million. The market finally understood what they had. The last analog scream before the hybrid silence. Current values? As of 2024, the median sits around 1.3 million. Recent auctions have ranged from 1.2 to just over 2 million, depending on condition, mileage, and specification. Paint-to-sample cars, fewer than 60 total, command the highest premiums. Ultra-low mileage is critical. Colors matter. Guards red, Faience yellow, basalt black over GT silver bring top dollar. Even the color of your brutality matters. That's a 188% increase from original MSRP. But it's not just about appreciation. It's about what the car represents. The Carrera GT was the last pure analog supercar from a major manufacturer. The last one built without compromise. The last one that said, "This is racing technology for the road. Deal with it." The last one before computers took over and made everything safe, boring, and utterly soulless. Collectors understand this now. The Carrera GT isn't just rare, it's historically significant. It's the bridge between Porsche's racing heritage and their road car philosophy. It's the proof that a company famous for building user-friendly 911s could also build something utterly savage. And it's the reminder that sometimes, just sometimes, the best engineering requires no electronic assistance. Just skill, just commitment, just consequences. Production ended almost 2 decades ago. 1,270 were built. Roughly half went to North America. Some have been wrecked. Some sit in climate-controlled garages with delivery mileage. Some are actually driven, as they were meant to be. But all of them are reminders of an era when supercar meant uncompromising, unforgiving, and unapologetically analog. When cars didn't care about your feelings, or your insurance premiums. The Carrera GT never won Le Mans. The V10 that powered it was supposed to, but Porsche killed that program to build SUVs. Hell froze over, and accountants won. Instead, that engine became the heart of a road car that defined what a supercar could be when you stripped away all the electronic safety nets. No stability control, no traction control, no paddle shifters. Just 5.7 liters of naturally aspirated fury, and a manual transmission that demanded respect. Or hospital bills. Today's supercars have 1,000 horsepower, hybrid systems, launch control, drift modes. They'll make you coffee and file your taxes while setting a lap record. They're faster, they're safer, they're easier, but they're not this. The Carrera GT was the last time a major manufacturer built a supercar that could genuinely hurt you if you got it wrong. And that uncompromising honesty, is why it matters. That's why values doubled. That's why collectors are fighting over them, because we'll never see anything like it again. The Porsche Carrera GT, 603 horsepower, 1,270 built, originally 448,000, now worth over $1 million. The last analog supercar, the V10 that almost won Le Mans, the car that killed the race program to build SUVs, the manual transmission that bit back, the ceramic clutch from hell, the suspension that got recalled and fixed with titanium at Porsche's expense, and the reminder that sometimes, just sometimes, the best cars are the ones that don't try to save you from yourself, even when you probably need saving. This is Supercar Chronicles, where engineering excellence meets terrifying honesty, and we wouldn't have it any other way.